Hello, and everyone. Welcome to today's presentation, the 5 best times to email your customers. I want to give a quick shout out thanks to Branded Strategic for helping promote this, and both to Lunchbox and Bicky for collaborating on the content. And with that, I have a little bit of a surprise. Now, we promised you the 5 best times, but after we sort of went through and discussed this, we realized that you deserve more, and we are going to give you actually the 10 best times to email your customers. So get some screenshots going, take some notes. If you want this presentation, like and just comment that you want the presentation. We'll share it with you afterwards. So again, make a comment and share this if you want. And here we go. Today on the webinar, you're going to learn 3 things. What are the 10 best times to email your customers? That should be obvious at this point. How to convey a point with cheesy stock photos. I love cheesy stock photos, so there's lots of them in here. And lastly, how to get help doing this. Okay, so please allow me to introduce Abhinav Kapoor. He's the co-founder and CEO of Bicky. Bicky is a growth marketing platform for restaurants. Bicky's mission is to help restaurants use data-driven marketing to drive more business through their direct ordering channels. Okay, his inspiration for Bicky came while doing deliveries for his parents' restaurant in New York City. Connect with him later. It's an awesome story. Okay, I also want to introduce, please, is Hadi Rashid. Hadi brings over 6 years of restaurant marketing experience to the table, previously having worked for growing concepts in New York City, like Bear Burger, and he now leads the client growth marketing division at Lunchbox. They call him the growth hacker because he is. Okay, Hadi assists restaurants in creating strategies that bring sales into their own platform away from third-party marketplaces like Grubhub. And hi, lastly, me. What's up? I'm Rev Ciencio. I have 20 years experience in digital marketing and hospitality, and I help restaurants raise awareness, acquire, and retain customers. My personal magic wand is pizza. I also used to own a bar in New York City, so I know exactly how hard it is to do this, and we failed terribly at operations, and we were really great at marketing, so that's how I got here. All right, today we're here to talk about all of the best times to email your customers. So let's start with the burning question that everybody's going to ask no matter what. Let's just get it right off the table. What are the best times to send email? Now, Hadi, you gave me these, so you want to back these up real quick?
Yeah, so these were sourced from, obviously other email marketing companies that have done a lot of research around it. So the one thing I want to mention here is that don't ever try to figure things out yourself. The research has been done for you. It's out there. It's a simple Google click away. And I'm sure when Rev shares this deck, he can also share the source for it. Before 10 a.m. is when people are settling down in their office and when they're going through their emails anyway. So that's when you want to hit them. Not before that, because you don't want to get buried in their emails from before around 1 p.m. because that's when guests are usually trying to make their decision around different things like lunch. A lot of us like to eat lunch, and that email notification around lunchtime can really help them, especially if it has a call to action for them to purchase.
Awesome. All right, order noodles according to this photo. Okay, so let's break into it. Okay, number 1, Abhinav, you brought this to the table. You want to go through this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the way to think about this is it's just general good email hygiene to update your email list on what's going on with your restaurant regularly. So, I mean, like some of the examples here, new location, menu item change, special monthly items, general company news. The way we like to think about it is your email list is a group of people who have opted in to give you permission to contact them regularly. That doesn't mean spam, but that does mean you can hit them up once, twice a month on just what's happening at your restaurant. To give you examples from Bicky customers, like when COVID hit, we had a couple customers who were just sending their newsletter profiles of people that work for them. Hey, this is our chef. Hey, this is a server. This is a commissary kitchen that we're spinning up to support these people. So just, it can be really anything. I think whatever you're thinking about, you can turn it into an email. These are just some specific examples, like opening a new location and a seasonal menu item. But I think the right way to think about it is you have permission to keep them updated. That's what a newsletter is for. So you have permission to keep your newsletter recipients updated on what's actually going on with your business, and in some cases, like what's going on with your life. So
awesome. All right, moving on. Immediately after activity, you want to tackle this too?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, this is just about being relevant, right? Like, again, I think one of the things that I always tell our customers when it comes to, especially like someone either opting into a newsletter, ordering direct from you, or downloading your app, that's like the moment to capitalize, because the hardest thing in this world is to get people to say yes to you digitally. Like, my phone is the most valuable piece of real estate I own, especially living in New York City. I don't really own anything else. But if they say yes to you on their phone, like if they download your Lunchbox app, you have permission to promote them and hit them right away and say, hey, thank you so much for downloading our app, right? That's the moment where they are most euphoric about your brand. because again, they are coming to you through a digital channel, which is again the hardest place to be in a customer's life these days. So the second they join your email list through your website, the second they download your app, and I know Hadi will touch on this as well, the second they make their first purchase with you, you are given the permission to follow up with them immediately. And that it can just be a thank you. It doesn't have to be anything more than just saying, thanks for being here. We appreciate you, and we look forward to building a relationship with you.
Yeah, if Amazon would do it, you should do it, right?
Right.
Awesome. Okay, Hadi, there you go. This is now we're getting into the thick stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you send out your email confirmation emails when someone places an order, it's like Abhi said, you can make them super personal, saying thank you for placing your order. It doesn't have to be just a receipt. The receipt is nice. It's what they need to pick up their order in store, perhaps. But the goal, the theme here for email marketing in general, or any marketing in general, is to increase guest frequency.
Yep.
You want to increase the amount of times someone's coming into your restaurant, and you want to increase the amount of times a unique user is coming in. That's a very important metric to track. How many unique users are purchasing with your brand inside 30 days? And the goal for that is, you got to push them. After they give you their first purchase, they've transacted with your brand. You're a little bit more relevant to them, just like Abhi said. So typically what we like to do is 10 to 12 days after the first purchase, we try to incentivize a second purchase. By the time they make the decision, they'll be on day 15. And something we also like to do is, again, you're relevant to them now. So you can do drip email campaigns. When your restaurant's name now shows up in their subject line, it'll be relevant. I ordered Taco Bell when I was in a hotel last week, and now I'm in a different hotel 100 miles away, and it's relevant to me. I was thinking about Taco Bell last night. Ordered Taco Bell last night, right? So drip campaigns are super, super important. You want to be able to track things like loyalty credit in someone's account. So if someone has loyalty credit and they haven't spent it yet, or they haven't been with your brand in a little while, incentivize them with an email campaign that's automated, and it tells them, hey, you have this credit to spend. There's currency. There's a value here. There's free money out there for you to come in and spend, and sort of push them towards that next step. And then the next part is buyer behavior. So you also want to track what kind of platform people are purchasing on. Is this person purchasing mostly on iOS, or are they purchasing on Android? Are they purchasing on your web mobile platform? Are they purchasing on desktop? Right. Based on that, you can also tailor your images and also tailor your content, which can really, really help personalize and streamline the kind of information you're giving your guests.
By the way, I think about Taco Bell a lot.
That's great.
Best fast food for vegetarians.
Amen.
That's my hook. Yeah.
All right, Hadi, let's keep it going here.
Yeah, so we talked about what happens in a perfect world scenario when people do want to transact with you, but what happens when they don't? Before we try to answer that, there's one really important thing that you need to understand, along with, guest frequency. You want to identify that number for yourself. The first thing you want to do is identify where you are, because you can't get to where you're going unless you're not measuring where you are right now. So it's really important to establish that, to take your unique users and figure out how often people eat with you, because then you'll know what your brand norm is for people to come in at a certain time during the month. And then you'll know, okay, people purchase at least twice with me in a month. And you know that, okay, every 30 to 45 days, I should probably be sending a lost customer campaign for customers that aren't transacting past that period. That's super important. And that'll help you it won't help you increase your guest frequency, but it will help you retain it. Right?
What would you say is like the maximum amount of time in a lapse?
I think
it's different. So it
depends on the brand, I'd say, yeah.
It depends on the industry as well.
Yep.
If it's like a full dining restaurant, fast casual, you have a QSR, it's different every time. For like a juice brand, they'll do it'll be like something like 1.6, because people purchase so much. It's part of their daily life. If you're a coffee brand, it'll probably be even higher because it's part of their daily life. But if it's something like a treat, it might be something like 1.1, something along those lines from what we've seen. So really just depends on the brand, and you kind of have to be honest with yourself, like what industry you're in and what kind of food you're eating, right?
Right. Yeah. I'll eat fuku every Friday. I'll get Dunkin' every morning, and I'll go to Ruth Chris once a year. Right.
Wow. Exactly.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Number 5, dining holidays. How do you want to tackle this one too?
Yeah. So I know we're talking about email marketing. We're talking about digital experience. It somehow always implies that you can only do things in the online ordering experience. So different places sort of placements. You know, some things you can do in store, some things you can do online, and some things you can do both. Like Cinco de Mayo is a great option for doing limited menu items. For those of you who don't have it, I'm sure Rev has one. Get a complete list of national holiday campaigns and give it to your chef and tell them, hey, I know you can't hit all of them. I need you to hit some of them. It really helps create that feeling that there's someone behind the brand that's constantly tweaking things, and that you're exciting, and that you're constantly making changes to your brand. Cinco de Mayo was great. Mexique is one of our clients, which is really cool. We looked at their sales for the week of Cinco de Mayo, and funny enough, it looked like their sales looked like a sombrero. That was particularly exciting for us, and the founder got a good kick out of it as well. But, you know, for Cinco de Mayo, you can do specials around group packages, especially in the area that we're in today, and that's where Mother's Day is a great example as well. You know, these are group holidays, and to identify which one's which, and to tailor offerings around them, you can really try to narrow down what your guests are looking for. And Mother's Day is, again, another great, in a pre-COVID or a post-COVID world, it's a great item or a great holiday for your dine-in customers, right? Because people want to take their moms out. So it's also understanding a behavior that each holiday can be treated as a separate item, you know, and a separate offering, and to tailor things around it. National French Fry Day, that's my
It's Monday. It's in 4 days.
That's my favorite day. That's something that you can sort of capitalize on. Doesn't matter the platform. You know, if it's online ordering, you can set an order minimum. So if someone purchases a burger, they get a free side of fries. You know, you can do stuff like that. So goal here is to identify where customers want to sort of engage with you for each holiday, and how to tailor packages around that.
Awesome, man. Don't forget about fries. All right, moving on to personal significance. Abhinav, hit us off on this.
Yeah, I mean, this is another one that's kind of like table stakes and straightforward, but when I say table stakes, I mean, these are just like easy campaigns that you can run, because they're relevant to the user. Usually when someone downloads your app or opts into your newsletter, you know, on the sign up form, you'll say, when's your birthday? And they'll give you the month and the day. And again, that can tie in with something like, let's say you have some of the more advanced, like lapsed customer campaigns that Hadi was talking about. Let's say those lapsed customer campaigns don't work. Something like following up with a free treat instead of a discount, just like, hey, like, it's your birthday, we want to celebrate you. Here's a free side item or appetizer or a thing of French fries. Like, this can serve a dual purpose of, again, bringing customers back into your store that haven't been back in a while, or getting someone who only transacts maybe once a month or once every 45 days. You know, if the birthday falls within, let's say, a normal window where they typically don't come back, hitting them on a date that is of significance to them, like the anniversary of their app download, the anniversary of, you know, we've seen this with some of our casual dining customers, their wedding anniversary or their birthday. Hitting them then can actually cause a momentary jump in frequency, or win back somebody who maybe wasn't responding to your lapse campaign. So the personal and significant ones are good just because there's easy opportunities for you to just re-engage with your guests, and drive, you know, that incremental purchase.
Well, and it's July 9th here. My birthday is in 16 days, and we planned this webinar about a week ago, and still nothing has changed. Only Arby's and Red Robin have sent me birthday
There
emails.
you go. So
everybody else that's listening and watching, like, I'm looking for your email. Take it out of here.
Yep.
All right, feedback, Hadi.
All right, so this is another place for you to understand how your guest is doing. This is one of like the low-hanging fruit that you can sort of put in your order confirmation emails. Ask them for feedback. Typically, you can set up Zapier integrations, or you can use you know, software like Tattle to go and make sure the guest experience is being tracked, and ask them for feedback. NPS is something sort of not as well known in the restaurant industry as it is with the tech industry, but, you know, companies like Chick-fil-A have an NPS. A lot of big brands are switching to, you know, having an NPS. It's a scale of 1 to 10, and you track the people that are sort of your 9s and 10s and compare them to everyone that's a 1 and a 7. Right. So that's the goal for that. That should be your benchmark to identify how your team's doing in different things like operations. Are they smiling when they serve the food? Was the food packaged well? Right. So when you ask for this feedback, on the other side of this is, you know, you got to acknowledge if things don't go well. You know, if feedback is poor, you've got to acknowledge that, hey, all right, this didn't work out. I'm sorry. In this case, personal notes work great, whether it's for acknowledging poor feedback or appreciating good feedback. Believe it or not, personal notes I've seen work really, really well. If you're a founder or CEO and you can do that. It's one of the things that we advise people to do. I'll give you the example of one of our one of our restaurant partners, Springbone. What they did was, I think we all know everything about third party and how they sort of leech fees. Springbone and the founder Sam Maxine was he was tired of that. He did he sent out an email that was just a note explaining to his customers why he's doing what he's doing. And he also entered business card styled promos in all the delivery orders. And he had a huge uptick in native ordering sales via Lunchbox just by making it personal. So this is your chance to make it personal as much as you can, because people want to deal with people. And in the end, when you're in the restaurant game, you're in the people business, right? You're dealing with guests. So this is that if you can provide good framework, definitely make it personal.
Awesome. All right, number 8, Hadi, still your turn here, buddy. Assigning incentive and credit.
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite ones. So let's say it's following up from the last one, right? So let's say someone did have a poor feedback experience, because we're not perfect. We're never going to get it right. The point is, when we do get it wrong, how do we rectify it? So if someone had a bad experience and you get notified and you send them a note, you want to be able to send them credit or send them reward or buy them a gift card and have that be an email as well. Since we're talking about marketing, you want that to be in their inbox. You want your name in there so they see it. That'll sort of incentivize them to purchase and have another experience with you, which again goes back to guest frequency, retaining that and increasing that, right? So the whole point of this flow is to how can you, if a customer is about to churn is a word a lot of tech companies use. If someone's about to churn, how can you stop that? How can you retain that? And that's what this section here is referring to.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll take some incentives. Everybody listening, please, I'm hungry. Okay, Abhinav, abandoned cart. This is a big one.
Yeah, I mean, this is, again, like low-hanging fruit, something that Hadi's been talking about a lot. Low-hanging fruit, this is, someone has already, again, like I said earlier, the hardest thing to do in any sort of like consumer product, which restaurants fall under, I mean, obviously it's a B2C business, but the hardest thing to do is to get somebody to say yes to you in a digital way and to go to your native, like the thing that third parties have their lock-in is convenience, right? We hear this so many times from so many consumers where it's like, well, I could order direct, but I mean, it's different now with COVID in the environment, but pre-COVID, I could order direct, but like, I don't want to enter my payment details, which is really like 10 seconds worth of work, but consumers don't want to take that 10 seconds worth of work. And so when they do order direct and they actually go through the process of coming to your site or downloading your app and registering or logging in and entering their email and phone number, but not completing an order, how do you win them back immediately, right? How do you, because you're still top of mind for them, how do you ping them right away to say, hey, you started the transaction, but you never completed it? That's what abandoning a cart email is all about. It's about taking them at their moment of highest intent to purchase from your business and automatically reminding them to come back and complete the transaction and follow through. The good thing here is that the argument around convenience, or I don't want to enter my info again, they've already done that. They've already entered their info, right? They've already given you their info. So really now what it comes down to is making sure that they complete and order the food that they came to your site or download your app in the first place to get. So abandoned cart emails are just all about, and this is something e-commerce, right? We all have that. We've all been to the Nike site or another fashion site where you start the checkout process and you say, I don't really know if I want to buy this right now. And within 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours later, they're like, hey, you still, your session's still active. Do you want to come back and complete it? So abandoned cart emails, they cost you nothing, but it's all upside. Again, because the consumer has already opted in. They've already given you the means to contact them. They just haven't completed the transaction. So
right,
if you can
they've already shown high intent, right?
That's right. So if you can find a way to just bring them back, and it's just a simple reminder email. I mean, some of the things we're seeing on Bicky from abandoned cart emails is like 10% click-through rates, right? Which is just, again, it's like, it's insane. Like it's, you're going from where they are not making a purchase to a 10% click-through rate to an 8% conversion rate. And if your average check size is $30, like it is for some of our brands, right? Again, that $30 is all just incremental upside from a customer that could have either gone to Grubhub and cost you a 20% fee, or could have not ordered at all and you don't get any revenue from them. So abandoned cart emails are just a simple way to re-trigger them to take the action that they already showed high intent to take anyway. So.
Yeah, and for sure, if I got an email that said these French fries aren't going to eat themselves, I would.
Right.
So.
Yep. That's it.
All right, and number 10, Abhinav, let's get into this one because I think this is super, super powerful here.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that we're working on with Bicky, and this is where you go. You know, a lot of things we've talked about to this point have been kind of the low-hanging fruit and best practices for good email and customer engagement hygiene. There is a world where you can start to really segment and understand your customers, and platforms like Lunchbox make this possible, right? Like, one of the reasons we love partnering with Lunchbox at Bicky is because they share all this insight. They're helping you collect all this data and insight into your guests. And then you hand that off to a platform like Bicky, which can identify customers who've placed three orders with vegan menu items within the last month. And you can bucket them automatically as vegan customers, right? Or someone who's ordered alcoholic beverages 50% of the time in their transactions with you. So you can identify that this person, like once off, you don't want to bucket them as someone who drinks alcohol, but if someone orders it 50% of the time in their transactions with you, you can bucket them as someone who's high intent to purchase beer or alcohol from your direct ordering website. And when you start to get into really high powered segmentation and thinking about tailoring email content based on what the guests are actually ordering, right? A lot of the low hanging fruit we talked about has to come down to timing and frequency. But the holy grail here is really thinking about and tailoring your content to what they are actually ordering and how they experience your brand. Not just through the time and the basket size, but through the what of what they're actually consuming. What from your product are they actually consuming? And so if you can get into that, that's when we've seen, like, give you a perfect example. 3 people who place 3 orders in the first month, we classify them as VIPs. And we tailor them to, we have a whole separate drip campaign that we automate just for VIP customers. Because these VIP customers, if they place 3 orders in the first 35 days, there's a high probability that they're still going to be ordering 12 months from when they first downloaded your app or ordered direct from you. And not only are they still ordering 12 months, but their lifetime value, the amount that they spend, ends up driving, 70 to 80% of your direct ordering revenue versus brand new customers who are just coming in the door for the first time. So thinking about, this is the stuff that gets me excited, which is like, how do we take the low hanging fruit, optimize that, make that automatic for you? And then how do we get into the really advanced stuff using the data to start targeting customers based on their actual unique behavior? Because that's ultimately what helps drive more business through your direct ordering channels like Lunchbox or Olo or GoParrot or whatever other platform you might be using.
I have a question for both of you. What segment do you think this guy is in? I'd like to point out that the inside of his sport coat matches his pocket square.
He definitely got a birthday. He definitely just got a birthday reward.
That's right.
He got a birthday reward. It's the bar that he's sitting at who just sent him an email for a free drink. And
that's
the
right.
bar is probably owned by Rev.
Right. And it's a 50-50 shot that he's either looking at that email or taking a selfie, right?
I'm more interested in the dude in the leather jacket behind him.
Is he the bouncer, or is that there dude is he there to punch this guy? That's what I know.
He's there to order the matcha latte, it looks like. So.
Could be again. All right. So 10 great points, you guys. Hope you're taking great notes. And then again, comment if you want to copy this. We'll send you the whole thing. Hadi, tell us about what Lunchbox does.
Yeah, so Lunchbox is the most complete system for restaurant digital ordering. The founders, dealt with a lot of headwind when dealing with multiple systems to accomplish the same thing, which is a complete, omni-channel ordering experience. So out of that frustration came, an app platform, web, pocket kiosk, loyalty, and catering, all under one hood, and completing that with customer data so you can market it really, really well. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, and Abhinav, can you tell us about Gregory here, but also can you tell us about what Bicky does?
Yeah. So I mean, how to use the right words, omni-channel. Lunchbox does omni-channel ordering, and Bicky works on the omni-channel marketing piece. So like one of the things we do is hook into the various channels that Lunchbox spins up, like direct ordering, like the app, or other platforms like reservations, Wi-Fi, point of sale. Our focus is on aggregating all of that data for you, so you have more data on your customers than the third parties do, number one. And then number two, making it easy for you to act on that data by pushing it to marketing channels like email, social media, and text messaging. This case study that Rev threw up here, this is obviously our highlight, one of our highlight customers, but we replaced essentially their for Gregory's Coffee. They're a 30 location or so coffee chain. They had a simple lapsed customer campaign, which was, it's been 30 days, I miss you, here's a discount. And what Bicky ended up doing was replacing that with a data-driven drip campaign where instead of just giving a discount up front, we told the story of what Gregory's is, who they are, what they stand for. And because we get all the data, we save the discount for everybody who by the end of the flow hadn't placed an order yet. So instead of just spraying and praying and blasting everybody with discounts, we tailored the content, tailored the copy, and made sure that only people who by the very end hadn't converted on the story and would most likely need the discount to convert, we just hit them at the end. The result was, a 5x increase in ROI, and again, more money in a little over 2 months than what they made in the previous 5.5 years on that traditional campaign.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. So if anybody who's watching this has questions, find Lunchbox, find Bicky, find these guys, ask questions. They're here to help you. Next, I want to talk about our Facebook group. Some of you might already be in there. It's bit.ly/restmass. It's a private group that is hosted by me and inspirational mindset coach, John Shaw. He's also the co-host of my podcast. We share presentations like this. There's training modules, networking. You can ask all kinds of questions. So just go to bit.ly/restmass to join. Lastly, again, if you need my help, you can ask me any questions. You can get my advice as any subject. I'm happy to help. I'm a hospitality marketing consultant. Just find me on Rev Ciencio. By the way, I'd like to point out at the time of this webinar, I am less than 200 followers away from 100,000. I'm very, very excited. Hadi actually watched me update this in real time. So thank you guys for following. But again, if you have any questions, hit me there. And lastly, next week, again, we do this every Thursday, okay? 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Next week, you're going to learn how to bulletproof your Instagram in 5 easy steps. And as you learn in some of these other ones we've done, like if you have a leaky bucket for customers to place orders from you, they will go to the third parties, right? We need to stop that. So guys, thanks for tuning in today. Thank you, Hadi. And thank you, Abhinav.
Thank you, Rev.
Of course. Really, thank you, Rev, for putting this together. Really appreciate it.
Listen, I'm from Detroit, man. I'm from the hood, and we got a saying, if you got a hookup, you got to share it, right? So here we go. So again, everybody, if you enjoyed this, please like it. If you know somebody that you think would enjoy this, share it to them or tag them in a comment. And if you want a copy of the presentation, just comment below and we'll send it to you guys. Again, thank you so much, and make it a great, tasty day.